Good morning. Craig Howard here. Happy to be with you this morning again. Me and Peanut. Where'd you go? You gonna come say hi, Peanut? Huh? Anyway, um, excuse me. I had a dream last night. Crazy dream. Um, it was a dream where I was taking the temperature of people that were coming in to work someplace, some sort of a store or restaurant or something. Anyhow, um, this one young lady comes up, and I have one of those little guns, that they shoot on your forehead, and it takes your temperature. And I shoot her. Everybody else had come through okay, and I shoot her, and it said 103. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I stop her and I said, let me check this again. And I shoot her again, and comes back 103. The next guy that comes through says 112. He'd have been dead. But anyhow, the whoever was in charge said, "Well, you have to leave. You can't be here. You can't work here, or you can't work with that high fever." And she said, "I'm telling you, I don't have a fever. I'm not sick." And she starts to cry. She's upset because she needs to work. And she's saying, "I don't have a fever. I don't have a fever." And the boss is saying, you need to go. We can't take a chance because of COVID. Now COVID's even in my dreams. Anyway, she she has to leave. Well, it reminded me. Now, this was not in the dream. When I woke up, it reminded me of a time when Ryan was sick and he was in the hospital. He was just a baby, or just a little guy, and they came in and they tested him with one of those things that they used to do in the ear, and it said his fever was high, but he didn't feel hot. And so they went and got one of those things that you swipe across the forehead, and they tested him with that, and it said his fever was high, but it wasn't the same reading. So the nurse wisely said, just a minute. And she went and got an old fashioned, this is when you could still get the old fashioned mercury thermometers. Those things never were wrong. There was no calibration to them, there was no electronics to go bad. Anyhow, his fever was fine, according to that. And she said, I've learned you can't always trust these things. I've seen that with the one that we sometimes use at the church. It is, you have to calibrate it. And if you don't calibrate it, you can get a false reading. Well, you can also get false readings in life. There are a lot of times that people see someone and they make a judgment about that person based on that moment, upon on those circumstances that they're seeing, without ever really taking the time to calibrate, if you will, to check the facts out, to find out what's really true and what's really not true. We're very quick in our society to judge one another. We're very quick in our society to look at a set of circumstances and make a judgment, make a call, and say, this is who you are, this is what you are, without really finding out what the circumstances are. The Bible speaks very strongly about this. Of course, the one that everybody knows is ouch. Stop pawing on my back. Uh, Matthew chapter 5, or chapter 7, verses 1 to 5. But the first verse, the first part of the verse, is the one everybody knows. Judge not that you be not judged. Luke chapter, or James chapter 4, verse 12 says it much stronger. It says, there is only one lawgiver and judge who is able to save and to destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbor? It says over in um, John chapter 7, verse 24, do not judge by appearance, but judge with right judgment. In other words, get all the facts. And lots of other scriptures relating to the same idea. Make sure you got your facts right. Make sure you got your circumstances right. There's only one judge about the eternal condition of somebody. I can't look into a person's life and say that person is a Christian and this is not. That's between them and God. I can't do that. Um, I can look at them and see if they're involved or engaged in some kind of sin and say, look, this is going to hurt you down the road, or this is going to cause someone else to stumble or trip. There's nothing wrong with me looking at a set of circumstances and saying, this is going to have bad consequences, and the Bible says so. But for me to look at a person and try to determine that person's eternal standing, or to really judge that person without knowing all the facts and being very quick to judge, that's a dangerous thing to do. So just like you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you, think twice before you do that to somebody else. Well, Peanut and I are going to say goodbye. Yep. Hope you have a good weekend. A lot of sick folks out there. Be careful. Hope you have a good weekend. And if you're not attending church anywhere and you'd like to, come see us over at Break. If you don't feel safe about being in a church service, check us out on Break Covenant Brethren Church or Break Brethren Church Facebook page, and you can watch our services on there. Hope you have a great day. Mom and Dad, if you're watching, I love you. God bless.